Welcome to the Semi-Toxic Podcast. There's worse things out there for you. My name is DeadSlayer.
My name's Marigold.
My name is Kai.
We wrote topics and the host, that's me today, will pick them using a random generator. And today we will be talking about if I were to run a shop.
Oh, okay. Like in what kind of universe? Just like any universe or real life?
This is just like if you ever have if you ever entertained the idea of like, yeah, I could run a bookstore. That would be kind of cool. Like if you were basically just humoring these ideas and trying to like flesh them out, not as if you're actually going to do it, sure, but like if you did, how would you go about it? What would be like the ideas, the like motif?
I see.
So many things.
Anyway, if you're watching this, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down your shop ideas later below. So,
Vulture
Final
Cafe.
answer, Speakeasy.
Vulture Cafe.
Vulture Cafe? What on earth?
Speakeasy. Don't you have to have like illegal booze?
Okay, so what you do...
First, you need to make an amendment in the Constitution to ban booze.
Yeah.
Explain Vulture Cafe first, and then I'll go to my Speakeasy.
I think Vulture Cafe is pretty obvious. It's like a cat cafe, but with vultures.
Why do you want to pet vultures?
Because I think it's hilarious. Like, so people already have like owl cafe. There's already owl cafes and fox cafes.
Are?
Love an
yeah,
owl
there's
cafe.
owl
Fox
cafes here.
cafes?
Yeah, there's owl.
I've heard of dog cafes
here.
and cat cafes and rabbit cafes, and that's it.
Yeah, they have owl cafes here now.
I've heard of rabbit cafes?
Yeah. There's actually a bear cafe. The bear cafe isn't a real bear, sadly. Yeah. So the bear cafe.
Okay, good.
I'll tell you about the bear cafe. It's actually really interesting. They have these in like
I want to
the
pet
major cities here. So the bear cafe is apparently like, okay, so there's two of them. One is a clone of the other. One of them is they took students who had problem with like dealing with other people, and it was like a way to like give them therapy to deal with other people, because all they do is that they put on like a glove that's a bear paw. And this is kind of a weird idea. It's probably because they didn't have the original idea, but like there's basically a big hole in the wall, and you order food, and then a paw comes out and gives you the food, and also like it like pats you on the head, or you can like shake it. Nice. You can like pet the paw. It's supposed to be a bare hand, and it gives you like a thumbs up.
I mean, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah. That. So there's one like originally, like the original one was supposedly supposed to like help kids who or not kids, young adults who have trouble with communication. But now there's ones that popped up that are the same thing, but they just hire people to do it, you know, rather than like trying to help kids. So it's like, yeah, there's two now. I think there's two. Yeah, so there's two now instead of just one.
I'm disappointed at the lack of bear, but I do like the bear paw giving you head pats as you eat.
Right? Isn't that
There's
cute?
no way to like ethically keep a bear, I don't think. So I'm glad of the lack of bear.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I would love to
exactly.
pet a forbidden puppy. I would sign that waiver.
Do that on your own time.
I would.
I think a place where that would allow bears to be around, you probably wouldn't have to sign a waiver. I don't think it would be that kind of place. I think it would be
I think it would be more of a speakeasy than Marigold speakeasy.
Exactly. But yeah, so
Right,
so they have owl cafes, and I always thought that was a weird thing to have any bird in a cafe, because I feel like they just like steal your food, and then like, but apparently like owls are like the owls they have there at least are very friendly, and you can like, and my friend said that you could like pet them and they like kind of cuddle up to you and stuff. But the reason I was thinking about vulture because like I don't know why, but I think it'd be like a funny thing, just like you're just eating food and it's just staring at you. Like dead, like this is your this is your vulture Mortimer, and it just like sits there looking at you while you're eating, and then once in a while I go.
Isn't Mortimer such a good bird?
Vultures are fucking huge, though.
Well, no, it could be like a small vulture. There's smaller vultures too.
Vultures are pretty.
Vultures are like the size of my cat.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Chunk Norris.
And that's what I'm saying. It means you only have to use one for each table, right? So like a bunch of people eating it, it's just tower, and you put its perch like right at the edge of the table, like up high, so it's actually just looking down at them and going like every once in a while, and they're just like sweating while they're eating and stuff. And it could be therapy for people who need to deal with authority figures, you know.
It's
love for
helping
like
them
a
to term with their time running out.
I
I would
know.
love for like a convention to have just like release and like the natural issue of people not wearing deodorant. Someone walks like a
Oh.
group walks in and the vultures start like circling overhead. Like, see, I told you it smelled like death.
That's a good one. I actually really like that.
That'll be how I'll contract them out, right? That's how during convention season I'll contract them
You
out
need
to
to
people.
prove to your friend that they smell like that they need to take a shower.
Well, come on down to Kai's Vultury.
So I'm going to open a shop in competition with yours where it's a large herbivore cafe. So you got like oxen and camels and
Oh
cows,
god, that'll smell like shit so
alpacas.
much.
You
Oh
say that
God,
as
yeah.
if vultures wouldn't smell like shit.
you keep
Not as
complaining, not as
much with
much.
just the vultures. It would
Yeah,
still, but it's just the vultures. You have like a whole fucking zoo.
yeah.
I feel like the novelty would be worth it.
How it like having like camels and like oxes and like or
Ooh,
whatever the hell you said
horses.
and horses. Like,
Ooh.
where would you even store the fecal matter? Like, are you gonna have straw on the floor?
You know, I actually like this would still smell, but I could totally see this happening. Like if you set up a stables where just part of the stable or part of the pen, each pen has just another doorway that you can open.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you could easily like open it up, and then the horse can naturally come over and just stick its head in, and you get like, "Hey, what's up?" You know, like the cow, right?
Yeah,
It'll
yeah,
still
yeah. Give them
smell
like
like
little
shit.
windows they can like.
Yeah, it'll still
Someone
smell like
walks in
shit,
and
but
is like,
still.
"Ooh, can I see the horses?" And you're about to open the door. Everyone's like, "Take cover!" Open the door and just like throws everyone off their feet with just the smell.
That would be
I
my
know, you
thing. Is
got
that
like a
like
little cafe attached to the barn. The animals could like stick their heads through and you could pet them.
that would be the only
I like
problem
that.
though,
And then you could
is
like
getting over the
donate, and
smell.
then you could like sell the manure to like local gardeners and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I can ask the same question about your vultures of like how you'll take care of that, but with just like the birds, it's probably easier to set up like a corner or something for them to like
Dude,
go
birds shit
to, and then
everywhere.
yeah, they shit where they sit. So
They just
like, yeah.
shit when they
No,
stand.
oh,
Like
you
they'll
he's
can't
shitting on
you
definitely.
the
can't train a
table.
bird?
No, you can't train a bird not to shit.
Oh, then that'll definitely
Yeah.
be a problem.
It's even
Yeah,
worse.
his
Like,
story's going to be worse than
I'll
mine.
tell you what. Like, I've heard people wanting to open a duck cafe, but ducks have no sphincter. So
Oh,
like, yeah, they can't even
so
shit
they
like.
literally can't hold it?
Yeah, they can't. So they don't shit like you know. How you always think about like birds, how they shit like a little nice pellets. Apparently, ducks don't do that. They just spray. So like, yeah. So like,
Spray and
yeah.
pray.
So apparently,
Painting the
Okay, if
rose
he
is
puts the
red.
ducks in diapers.
that's. I've heard that's what some people do
Honestly,
for
ducks
like,
in
yeah.
diapers sounds adorable.
I heard that's what some
Yeah,
people
you
do
put
for
the
the
ducks
ducks.
in diapers and then you got your cafe.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Diaper Duck Cafe. Oh, you might get the wrong
Diaper duck
clientele
cafe.
by calling it that.
the diaper duck diner.
Yeah.
Ooh.
See, I like your
There
like
That
we
works
go.
I like
too
your
well.
farm diner idea. It's really just the smell. Like other than that, like that'd be
Yeah,
a cool
it's just the
thing.
smell.
If you can get over the smell, it would be great because it's like that'd be really cool. Them just sticking their heads and
Or just having like
be
more of
easy
a
to deal
farming
with.
community where like
Yeah.
if you're in that community, you're expecting that.
Yeah, okay, that
Yeah.
makes more sense then.
Like
Yeah.
we get manure
just
on
have
the
the
wind every
context.
now and then
Yeah.
here.
Oh, well, that makes
Yeah,
sense. And that would
if
be
you
worth
open
even
that up
more.
and like if you open that up in DC, then you're gonna get a lot of complaints. But
I would feel like it's
Like-
harder to like if you did live in a farming community, it'd be hard to convince farmers to actually want to pay for
Yeah,
that.
they're not going to care though. So
Yeah.
you have to be like near the
Yeah.
city limits.
Yeah.
yeah, true.
The eat with
But
horse.
yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Actually, you know
I bet I
what?
could do that somewhere like New York.
I'll
like,
tell you something really
outside the
weird.
city.
When I was renting my apartment, I'm not even kidding you. There was an ad in my realtor's office about living in like an apartment that was connected to a stable, but like with a door,
Sick.
and it showed a door to the apartment directly where the horse could just stick its head in to the apartment. I don't know about you. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Like you're just like watching TV and the horse just
It
sticks
is
its head
kind of
in
weird,
and
but
looks
at
at
the
you
same
and you're
time,
like,
it would
hey.
be kind of cool. Just like,
It would be kind of
oh hey,
And it just
yeah,
shits.
Mr. Ed sticks his head in.
It just shits while you're like
Hey,
watching.
Bojack,
it.
how you
watch
doing?
the sports channel.
What you doing, buddy?
looking in horror as the glue commercials playing behind you.
That was my cousin. No.
Oh, okay, we're changing topics. We're changing topics. Speakeasies.
Ooh, how about a glue factory / horse
Oh,
farm
we're just so the speakeasy. What you do is you give people have the like. Okay, so you know wine tasting.
I mean, a fake speakeasy.
Yeah, of
Eh,
course.
well, it's hidden underneath like a chocolate and tea shop.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and
So
it's
yeah,
so
so
like
it's
the
gonna be
top.
real, but
Yeah.
still, it's
Yeah,
not illegal booze. It's
it's
just
Okay,
not
okay,
real.
okay.
illegal,
All
but
right,
it's
so
well hidden.
like a
It's a
so fake.
local
Yeah, okay,
spot.
I get you. Like
I,
I get what you're talking about. I've seen those before. They're cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like the top is like a tea and chocolate shop, and it's a good, and it has
Ooh.
like little study corners because I'm imagining this in a college town.
Ah.
So like, great soundproofing between the top floor and the basement. First of all,
Because in
but
the
like when
basement,
you
it's
go
a
down
fucking
there, you
rave,
know,
my
like
dude.
a wine tasting where you go there and you like taste different wines. But I'm thinking instead of that, it's like a cocktail tasting.
Ah.
So like what you
Well, that
do
doesn't.
is
Yeah,
you
I get that. That sounds like a cool
yeah,
place.
what you do is you buy a bracelet and like the bracelet will say, oh, so you want to do like this course where you try this and this cocktail as opposed to like a different bracelet. And like if you buy a butterfly bracelet, it donates some money to like butterfly preservation and like stuff like that.
Is
And
it a
if
butter?
you
Is it a bracelet made of butterflies or bracelet made
no,
for
because fuck
butterflies?
you. It's a bracelet with a butterfly on it. So the bartender can look at that, give you like a start you off a Bloody Mary or something. I don't know very many cocktails.
I like to
Yeah.
bring mirrors to bars and then ordering 3 rounds of Bloody Marys and getting the demon fucked up.
Shot.
That
But
Cha
if you're
cha
like
cha.
not of drinking age yet, you could order. You get automatically get like a caterpillar thing, and
Wait,
you're
you're
not allowed to
allowed
sit
to
at the
be
bar.
down there?
So there are some. If it's a bar and restaurant, you're allowed to have people that under the drinking age as long as they don't sit at the bar and you don't serve them alcohol, right?
Depends. It depends. It depends on your license.
Well, I'll get the license that allows that, and
You
then
have to.
like
You have to.
they get.
So it's not that there's a bar and a restaurant. The bar has to serve food too.
Oh, the bar has to serve food too.
Yeah.
Well, okay. The bracelet will also determine what entree you get or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is under the drinking age, you'll get like a little caterpillar bracelet or whatever, and they get to be served mocktails instead.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that way they can
Yeah.
still drink with their friends, technically.
We used to do that at I remember I used to do that at this restaurant. So like one of the ways that people get around it is that they allow you to order from the bartender like the food you want because that's like a way around it. And so like what we used to do is we used to go up and we go like a Shirley Temple please, what you know, like I guys like you got it and he like mixes up just like just like cherry, puts the cherry and the Coke together and puts the cherry on top like it was a real one, and it made us feel so grown up.
Yeah, exactly, like that.
I was thinking you'd be like, and this here right now that you're tasting is a wonderful concoction of milk, Dr. Pepper, and Worcestershire sauce.
Why?
What?
Oh, no, and then I'm thinking like if you do like historical drinks or something, or if the drinks have something to do with like the area, or like with whatever charity you're supporting with the bracelet, it could have the bartender could give you like a little blurb, or there could be like a little card that comes with the drink.
Ooh, what
That like
about you
it's
go
like
up to the bartender, he asks what you want, and you just drop a book on the desk, and he's like, ah, shit, one of these.
what's the book for?
This sounds like a really like it's a great idea. It seems like it'd be
Too many
very
ideas in once.
no. It sounds fine. It sounds like a great idea. I think your clientele would be a little different though than you're thinking if you're talking about what it is like compared to what you said before. But I think it's a cool idea. It's a very niche it's a very niche clientele. But I like the idea. It's a cool idea.
Well, if it's going to be a
Yeah.
speakeasy, it's probably going to need a niche clientele, right?
No, speakeasies like people love those hidden clubs, man.
All right, DeadSlayer, what do you got for us?
I mean, I have a few because, like, what actually started or what gave me this idea originally was one time I ended up actually seriously considering a bakery in
Oh.
Italy because there was
Oh.
a advertisement that I saw where one of the towns, I can't remember which, some
Oh
picturesque town,
yeah.
uh, everyone living there was of retirement age, and no one was moving in because there wasn't much reason to.
You told me about
And
Oh
this.
yeah,
so
so
they
they're giving
were,
out like free
yeah,
land.
Yeah.
exactly. They were paying people to move there, and then
Yeah,
if
I
you
was
were
thinking of
planning
starting
on,
a permaculture farm there, so I could supply like
exactly,
bakeries and stuff. We're on the
yeah,
same
like
wavelength. We never even talked about this.
I think I sent you the link of it. Like I think I
No,
remember telling you about it.
But
multiple people sent me the link. Mom being
Gotcha.
one of them.
I thought you were with us
But
when you
yeah,
told
so
me
like
about it, but I guess not.
yeah, it's like I was I mean I was in military at the time, so I couldn't, of course, but I really wanted to. And so when I found that they were not just paying people to move there, but if you were planning on opening a business, then they were planning on like paying more to open the business there. I was thinking like, dude, how cool would it be to just run a bakery in a picturesque town in Italy
Oh,
and be
yeah.
paid to set that shit up?
That'd be great.
So you do have to pay to restore whatever house you go into because they're doing it partially to get people to restore historical houses.
Yeah, I mean, you can take a loan.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, that honestly, that sounded like it would be really cool. So that was like
I think
genuinely.
it's still available. I think they haven't like sold anything yet, or given stuff away yet.
Huh.
Oh,
Maybe we
boy.
should look into that after this.
Yeah, I'm
Vroom,
definitely
exactly.
gonna look
Vroom,
into that.
vroom.
But like, yeah, I was legitimately considering like what I would want to make and like the equipment that I would want because like I want to make croissants, but at the same time,
Ooh.
making them by hand is a bitch and a half and then some. So it's like I wanted to so I was thinking like one of the like they have machines to like actually like fold and mold the croissants much faster and easier. So I wanted to like have one of that. I found out that Italy doesn't really care much for coffee. So like I'd have to work on like a like what kind of teas to present because apparently there's like I love coffee. I'm a coffeeholic. But
I think the
apparently
I
not
can
Italy.
supply you with herbal teas. That could be my thing.
That would be pretty
think
cool.
the
Yeah,
thing you
'cause,
gotta
like,
worry
your
about
plan is
in a town like
Huh?
that is why there's no one younger living there. Like if it's very like like especially in Italy, there's so many towns that are old and so small because just no one's there. So no one.
Yeah.
So you might not get any clients.
Yeah, like that's the main thing because like again, I wasn't really actually able to try it,
Yeah.
so I wasn't really focusing too hard on like the actual feasibility of what I would want to
Oh, of
do.
course.
I was just having fun with the idea of what I would want to do.
That's really cute
Bro,
idea,
I
though.
would come to your bakery every day. You'd have one
Yeah.
customer.
No, same here, man. I love bakeries.
Yeah, because like
There's a
having
bakery
fresh
down the
baked
street.
goods would be
Oh,
really
yeah.
cool.
The idea of bakeries in general, I just love the idea of bakeries. They're just so nice, and I really wish there were more of them.
There's not enough. Like every time I mention like we need more bakeries, there's always Panera.
Yeah.
No.
Fuck that. That's a corporate thing. No, I want homemade,
Yeah, like-
homegrown.
Panera's pretty good. It's
good.
enjoyable,
Panera's pretty
but
nice.
it's
I do like
Fine.
not
There's
a
nothing
bakery.
wrong with Panera.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not a bakery.
Yeah.
It kind of is, but it's not much of one.
And just like having a local thing is nice, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I like here in Japan.
Of course,
There's
I wouldn't
bakeries
mind making
everywhere.
money.
There's bakeries everywhere in Japan. And generally, like one of the things that they do is they make a lot of small bread, and that's really popular with people who are on the run because they just buy small bread and leave. And it's they have a lot of pastries like and stuff like that. And that's one of the things that people
Pastries
really
are
like.
always good, man. Just like
Pastries
something
and
light, fluffy,
yeah.
semi-sweet.
They also
Like
have
that's
savory,
the best
a lot
way
of
to start
savory
a morning
ones too. And so a lot of
Yeah.
like the
for
bakeries
lunch and
here,
whatnot.
like it's just amazing. Like all the bakeries here, if you come after like 3, it's just desolate. Because people have just
Damn.
completely like gotten just taken them down because they're just so good and like and the variety is also kind of amazing. Sometimes a little too much. Like I think I told you about like they'll put like noodles in bread, and I think it's really disgusting.
Oh yeah.
It's like yeah.
Sounds like a texture thing. I mean, I've already made the joke, and I actually kind of want to like just troll like a cookout by making a loaf of pasta.
For me, it's not texture.
Because it's like it's
um
dough. It's fucking flour. It's water. I think the only difference is I think like what makes it pasta is it has egg in it too. I don't think bread typically has eggs.
No,
I think it
it's-
could.
I
depending
mean,
on what
I
you
made
make
a
it.
cookie cake by like putting by putting like cookies in a cake pan or a cookie dough in a cake pan. It was pretty good.
Yeah, so like making a loaf
I've done that too.
because pasta is just dough,
Yeah.
so it's not going to rise very well because there's not going to be any yeast. But I think it would be kind of funny to show up with a brick of pasta. Who wants a slice of pasta? Slice of noodle.
It's like I don't think there's anything wrong with it. The one that I don't like about it is not the texture. It's that it's like double carbs. It's like having rice
Oh, yeah.
sandwich. It's just weird.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Or
As
like
someone who has
Yeah.
had a
I
rice
definitely
sandwich,
get that.
yeah.
I have
So
had a
what's that-
rice sandwich.
What
Mhm.
kind of
It was
things would
pretty
you
good.
sell in your bakery?
Hmm.
And I was thinking just like multiple different breads. Like I was thinking of being like a go-to place of if you want like fresh made bread, but without without pricing it much extra because of being homemade, which most places would do, like reasonably priced, but like fresh baked bread for if you have like a family dinner going on or whatnot, like being a very community based like
Oh
thing.
god.
So
Now
like
I have
having the
people
various
using stuff.
yeah, like having the various kinds of breads available, croissants and muffins and scones and shit for like the morning, and then
Bagels?
have
Ooh,
bagels. Yes, lots of bagels.
bagels. Mm.
Various kinds, the semi-sweet to the savories to just the plain if you're sad. Uh,
I
I
love
say that,
bagels.
but the plains go hard too.
Oh, there's a berry bagel here with like 3 kinds of berries. It's so good.
Do you?
What kind of berries?
And I miss those. Like I miss good bagels. Like the bagels here are shit.
Yeah, a lot of bagel taste depends on water. Like I found that
Oh.
out when we were like in Florida, when I was in Florida with mom, and we went to this bagel place, right? We got the bagels. Mom took one bite. Her eyes immediately went wide, and she walked back in the store. It's like, "Where did you make these bagels?" And they were like, "Oh, no, we make them here." What'd you do with the flour? She's like, "No, no, it's just regular bagels. We do get the water from New York, though."
Oh. Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
like mom.
I
Yeah,
thought you
mom
meant
had grown
water
up.
content. I didn't know you meant like literally
No,
where you source the
literally
water.
the
Oh
water.
wow, that's
Literally where you
amazing.
source the water greatly affects the taste of bagels, apparently. So
Interesting.
like mom wanted their business card because she's never had New York bagels outside of New York. And
Yeah.
obviously she loves New York bagels.
Damn, I never
So,
thought of
like,
That's crazy. That's something I never would
right?
have guessed. Man,
Yeah, no,
I
it's
never heard of New
weird.
York bagels.
you've never heard of New York
New
bagels? Oh,
No, New York's pretty famous for their bagels. Their
yeah.
bagels are apparently really good.
They had a huge
And
Jewish
now we know why.
population, and who took it very seriously.
So, Kai, if you're going to move to Italy with us, and I'm running a farm and he's running a bakery, what are you doing?
I'm gonna be a hitman. No,
Boo, that's not a shop.
Hey, someone's got to keep you guys away from the. You know, someone's got to keep you guys
That's
okay.
not a shop. Open a front somewhere.
Okay, up front from my.
No,
my
he's thinking
hitman.
of moving to Italy so he could join the mafia. He's not being original.
I do, yeah.
Boo, the mafia's in New York. Wrong
I-
place.
yeah, I'm.
Exactly.
Hey, yeah, I'll show up to. I'll show. There is
Watch The
totally. There is
Godfather, educate
mafia in
yourself.
Italy. You can get protection from the Cibonari if you don't pay the mob.
Ooh.
Yeah. So like, oh yeah, but definitely. I go up to the mob and go, hey guys, I know you guys only like Italians, but would you accept a brown Asian guy? And they're like, sure, brown Asian guy, come on in. Definitely.
Is that going to be your tagline?
That's-
That's the hitman?
Brown Asian guy.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
no, it's brown Asian guy. Keep your head down.
I don't blend in Italy.
The initials are just bagged,
You
so.
see, they're expecting
Man.
someone to blend in with
Antonio
Italians.
just got bagged.
They don't expect an Asian guy to walk in and kill a guy who stands completely out.
Okay, but that's still not a shop. You gotta
Fine.
open a front
A
somewhere.
front for
A
my
front or you-
for my brown Asian guy hitman business, right? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
realistically, I always wanted to open a cafe. Like, I probably
Ooh.
I could get source from from your bread, and we could have a little
Yeah,
business.
you
Yeah,
could be a cafe right next to DeadSlayer's bakery.
yeah. This is kind of like, I don't know if this is kind of like hipster of me, but I always like the cafes where like you have like the classic area where like you have a nice little tables out and everything. But I also kind of like the places that are that can be like hangouts too. where you can where it's just
Yeah,
got
where you can like
nice.
get a book and whatnot, or like an
Yeah,
armchair in front of a fire.
exactly, things like that. I like those kind of lodge things. They had that they had those at our college, and I really liked to just hang out in those types of places. They were just really comfortable, and I don't know. I always thought that I know that this also sounds kind of kitsch, but I also like the idea of being able to shop for little things that make it look comfortable and stuff like that, and
Oh
little
yeah,
things like
absolutely.
that. I don't
What do you
believe in
mean?
too much clutter. I think too much clutter in a place makes it a little hard. Like there was this one cafe where we lived where unfortunately it closed down, but they used to put so much shit in their shop that I actually didn't like it. It somehow made me got rid of my appetite. There was just too much clutter,
Oh,
and
dude,
it put me off.
I
So
know
I want
exactly what you mean, man.
you're right. So I want something to be the perfect way, you know, just something really nice and comfortable.
Yeah,
Um,
like with like maybe fairy lights and some books and like
yeah,
comfy chairs and
exactly. A
pillows.
nice atmosphere.
Funny enough, I went to a
Mhm.
antique shop where like there were antiques all over the place, but the thing was they were decoys because like a few of them were on sale, but like they didn't have that many they wanted to sell. They just wanted to fill the shelves to make it look like they had many that they wanted to sell. So you had like if you couldn't find a price tag, that's not because they forgot to have a price tag. That's because that's not on sale. That's just there to look nice.
See, that kind of
So,
reminds me of like if you've ever watched American Dragon, Jake Long. Jake's
mhm.
grandpa had an electronics store where he never had a customer. Like he was proud that he never had a customer. He'd actively try to chase them away.
Now I'll tell you what I
Like I had
wouldn't.
the exact opposite in Old Town where there was this antique store where it was exactly like you were talking about, Kai, with like too fucking much. Like
Right?
there was a pathway because you know how everyone's like, I can't even see the floor here because it's like a messy room. It was you literally they literally had to like clear a pathway. It would not surprise me if they had like a push broom to push it out of the way of the path to walk around because they were literally in piles. Like it
Oh
was
my
like
god.
the hoarders show.
Yeah.
It was like that where it was like piles from the floor leading to a ramp up the
Ew.
wall to support them on
Ew.
the wall. And the thing was, they were spotless. They were taking care of it. I don't know how.
Don't they have a back room? Can't they store it in the back and then
No, it
that's
was
what you
actually a
Yeah,
should
surprisingly
do.
small area.
Space was at a premium where
Oh.
that store was. So
That
Yeah, it's like it was actually really small areas. Like if I were standing in the if I were actually standing in the room and there was nothing else in it, I could maybe be like if I had my arms outstretched, it would be like me and a half.
we were
And that was like all the
joking
space they had.
we were joking about fronts earlier, but honestly, that's the kind of front that I'd be very suspicious about. Like I was even watching a show not too long ago that took place in England, and that was there was literally an antique store with an old lady, and it was a front for drug smuggling, and it was really obvious because
nice.
no one ever visited the shop, and she never made any sales. And so how the fuck could she be an elixir?
I mean
How the fuck was she selling stuff, right?
I mean, funny enough, it wasn't a front, but it wasn't an actual like store for the sake of being a store. Like how I mentioned that it was just like those hoarder shows.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
actually what was going on. Was like the person who
Oh,
owned the shop was actually like would travel the world. Like he actually was someone with like a good amount of money, and he would travel the world and he would buy like fucking everything.
oh, I get
And
you. I
so he
get you.
had such a huge collection that he was eventually talked into throwing his stuff in like at least a chunk of it in that store,
To
and
try
then
and
they would just
sell it.
sell it if anyone would come in. So
Well, that makes a lot of
it
So he
actually
didn't
sense.
want
wasn't a
people.
legitimate. I mean, it was a legitimate store, but it wasn't a legitimate store in the sense of they were trying to open a store. It was they were trying to make some
Get
fucking
rid of their
space.
get rid of their shit. That makes sense too. Um,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
call back to an earlier episode. If I were to open a cafe, because like being a barista sounds fun, just making people's drinks, making their days better and stuff.
Fanfic cafe.
Yeah, just like you write down short little stories, and someone orders a drink, and then you like match the story to their drink,
Mm.
and
That
then
was
they
my
can have something to
reference
read.
to someone coming up to your bartender and just dropping a book on the table, and it was like,
Oh, that's what you meant.
The only thing I would
I was
like,
confused.
the only thing I worry about is like, what if someone turned out like, what if they're drinking? They're like, this is good. You're like, yeah, it's got time in it, and they go, I'm allergic to time. You're like, oh fuck.
Well, they would order the drink. I'm not just going to give them a drink and not tell them what's in it.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, come on, man.
I'm just, that's what you made it sound like. If you tell a story and you're like, I know what that works with that, and you give them a drink.
I mean, tell them what the ingredients are beforehand, first of all, and second of all, I'm thinking of giving them stories to go with the drinks they order.
Ah, okay, that makes a lot of sense then.
Yeah, just write out short little stories, pair it with some of the menu items. I feel like it would work.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Now, I'll tell you what I wouldn't do. Like, I've seen them here, but Mara, do you remember when? I think it's a couple times I took you out. We passed this place, but a hammock cafe.
Ooh, yes, that was fun. I've been there.
Oh, you've been there. Okay, so I don't know
I've
about that. Like
never
that,
heard of it.
like I feel weird about like laying like just being that comfortable next to other people.
I
Well,
mean, my concern would be
you
like,
couldn't really
I've
lay
never
down
been
in
there.
it because you're drinking.
Yeah, like if you have drinks and a food, like how laying down could you really be
Well,
I
while
mean, they
not
gave you
spilling?
like little tables that
yeah.
looked like tree stumps next to the hammocks, but it wasn't really tall enough where you could really lay down in the hammock and drink it and
That's how
stuff.
those ones were, but I've seen ones here where it literally is like a straight up hammock. Like you could completely just like splay out. And
I mean,
that's a
I'm not
very
gonna
weird
lie,
to
that
me.
kind of sounds nice to me.
That sounds nice. I would probably get motion sick.
I would feel weird because I have a problem being that comfortable with my shoes on. And I'm not gonna take my
Mm.
shoes off in like a fucking cafe. So it's
Yeah, no, fuck
like,
that.
Unless it was Marigold's barn slash bar.
No, then definitely keep your shoes on in case you step in something.
now I say that, but like you do have to like there's a lot of places here where you have to take off your shoes to go to certain areas. So that it's not like I don't do that here, but I don't I feel weird about like fully laying down, you know, and doing that as well. I mean, I'd love
Yeah.
to. I'm sure it'd be very comfortable, but it just feels weird about being that comfortable
I
in
mean, because that
public.
used to be a
Yeah,
thing in like
it would
ancient
definitely
Rome
help
was like they had the little
the laying
basically
couches.
almost
Mm,
couches that you would lie across
mm,
if you weren't,
So
eating on a floor.
yeah,
So yeah, if you open a hammock cafe or I open a hammock cafe or whatever, make sure to include regular chairs,
yeah.
just just in case.
That's what I'm saying.
And
Like
especially because
section
like not
areas.
everyone could use a hammock anyway, because like some people have back problems and whatever.
Oh yeah,
So
if they're all
like,
old people there.
Open up a hammock
oh,
cafe in
are we?
that little
Are all of
Italy,
our things just going to
that
be
little
in
town
Italy
in
now?
Italy.
I guess I thought we were it's just this whole episode just becomes if we all move to Italy.
Yeah,
Ooh,
well,
what about a hammock cafe where it's the entire cafe is built on a big ass hammock and the whole thing just like sways as everyone walks about?
Oh
that
God,
you might run into some engineering issues with that one.
God! Someone just sneezes and the whole thing just goes whoa.
I'm imagining like the Pirates of the Caribbean. Quick, look at this window. Quick, now look out the other window, and then getting everyon to just go back and forth until the thing
I
just
mean, you
falls.
joke as if we didn't do that with our like aunt's hammocks.
Yeah,
We did.
that was
She
fun. We
our
fell on our
our
faces
aunt.
so hard.
Oh, so hard. Our aunt runs a bed and breakfast, and she has like this really big hammock out front. And so, like when we were kids, we'd try to like roll from one side of the hammock to the other to try to get the other one to fall off.
Yeah, I remember. I used to do that too.
And it would work. And then we'd get back on and do it again.
Yeah,
We would
And
like
we'd
hit our
fall into the
face on the
gravel,
metal
and then we'd do,
pole.
ah!
we used to have
There's
one
like a
in our
metal
back.
pole
We used
underneath
to have one in
the
our
job.
backyard, and like at one point we didn't go back there for a long time, and then I went back there and I jumped on it and I went right through it. And it scared the
Oh.
shit out of me because there was like no resistance. I was just like, ugh. And it brought me back to because when I was a kid, my dad like set up the hammock before, and he swung me, and he swung me so hard that I didn't come back down because
Oh,
I don't know how this happened, but apparently like the wall that he connected the hammock to was like old, and the entire wall came down, and so he just swung me, and I just went ah.
Oh.
He's like, "Oh no!" And he ran over to me, and I was like, "Whoa!" And so, but that was like we never expected. He's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't think the wall would come down."
Not with that attitude.
Exactly. That's pretty funny. God, now we're just talking about wall cafe.
Okay.
Right.
For if we were in like a hot place, I'm thinking of restaurant in like the middle of a pool. It'd probably be at like a resort or someplace because I've seen this done before.
Oh, I've done.
obviously.
I've eaten at some
But-
before. They're really nice.
Instead
Yeah,
of
but
a
I'm
swim
thinking
up
instead
bar,
of
a
having
swim up restaurant.
instead of just the bar being the swim up part and then having the chairs on like an island or whatever, I'm thinking you also have chairs like in the pool.
Yeah, I had that as well. I've been at one with chairs in the pool. It's nice.
Oh, does it have floating tables?
Hmm. No, so they don't. It doesn't like the thing is that they would, but they really and I agree because I've asked. Yeah, is that they don't want people to spill shit in the pool. If it's a liquid, it can
Which-
usually be filtered out. But if it's like a fucking solid, like food, it's so annoying to filter out.
Yeah, that's like
That
I'm
is
currently
the
working
only-
as a lifeguard, so I can see so many ways that this
Yeah.
will not be feasible. But that's not the point of this episode.
Yeah, that's
No,
not the
it's
point of this exercise.
But I like that idea. Like I think it's really comfortable. Like the one that they had was like it was a shallow pool, so anyone could get in, even kids. And then it had stone, not stone, I guess it would be plaster seating that was slightly below the water. So if an adult, like as a human, as a child, when I used to
human.
back when I was a human, back when I was a human child, when I sat on top of them, it would go to my chest. So I think with a regular human, a regular adult human.
A regular, normal, everyday human.
Yeah.
Just like the rest of you.
Yes,
would probably go
my
up to
first
their
name's Hugh,
waist.
my last name's Man.
They probably go up to their waist
First
to their
name
stomach.
Norm, last name Mel.
And so and that's pretty good. That's pretty comfortable. You know, you sit. You know, it's
Yeah.
a little hard to sit down. I must say, like if they had like, it could have used like I don't know, someplace to put your feet to plant your feet, because it didn't. And so I constantly had to pull myself
Yeah.
back down.
Somewhere to
Yeah.
put your feet and like maybe someplace to lean back a little bit because I like stools and whatnot, but if I'm gonna be there for like an actual meal and I'm gonna be sitting down for a bit, I want to be able to recline a little bit.
I would think so too. And so you know they could have made that a little better, but just having it was really cool. I've seen like sunken cabanas that are like that, which are even better. Where it's like
Ooh.
so that they're at complete chest height with both the server and the person sitting down to eat, and that way you can easily yeah. So it's just so that would be I think that would be a great idea to have, especially in a hot place.
How about you, Kai? What would you have for like a particularly hot location where you can expect
Yeah.
like a lot of people to pull a clientele from?
So so I would actually add on to that thing. So one of the things that
Yeah, we're going into this.
if we're talking about like a cool business like that with a pool, maybe and this would actually help you with your lifeguarding if you were to lifeguard it. But the two things that I
hope I'm
really
not.
the two things that I really like at water places and pools, which aren't gonna drown people, like so they don't like super rivers or huge waterfalls, nothing like that. Are one, I really like the mist falls and stuff like that because I love misting things in general because like it's so expensive, but if we're not caring about expensive, then there we go. It's
Yeah,
just
this
kind of
isn't about
yeah.
feasibility; it's about fun.
People love that kind of thing. I used to go to this.
This feels lovely.
I used to go to this festival up near San Jose, and what happened? And when it would get so hot, and then they introduced these mist tents, which is these huge tents that shoot mist down, and you'd have to like fight to get in there because everyone would just be in there like sardines waiting for getting the mist to go on them, and it was amazing. It was like a human watering station, right? Like and you literally had to like fight people to get in the middle so you could get the best mist. And if you had
We
that
are
in a
basically
pool,
plants. We need our sunlight and water.
exactly. And the other type of thing that I'd like in that kind of environment is I'd really like to make a grotto.
What's a grotto exactly?
Grotto, so a pool grotto is basically an area of the pool that's covered in rock or fake rock. It makes it look like an actual grotto, like a sea grotto, but in a pool. And generally, like I know that rich people usually put like pool houses in it as well. So you just have a cool place to hang out, and you can go in there. And because it's like that, you can also go in there like at night or when it's cold or something, and it'll keep the warmth in. So it's got a dual thing. It's cool when it's hot, and it's warm when it's cold. So it's actually a really cool place to hang out.
Oh, it's like a cave.
Yeah, it's like a
Okay.
cave. So
Yeah.
it's a grotto. Yeah.
I had to Google it because I've heard the term before, but I don't hear about grottos very
Oh,
frequently in
okay.
everyday conversation.
Okay, yeah, it's fair enough. But
Yeah,
and
I had
Are you
nothing
they're
gonna
really
really to go
fun.
off.
Like a lot of the rich people
Are
have
you
like
gonna
a whole sitting area in them.
That would
have
be
a
pretty cool.
speakeasy in the grotto?
I would be down.
You know what would be really
Yeah.
cool? If you had like a grotto for a bar and it looks like the fucking cave in Pirates of the Caribbean.
That would be cool. I think there's one in like the
Disney,
Playboy
get
man.
on it.
There's one like the Playboy Mansion like that. I think.
So Kai's gonna be running a poolside Playboy mansion. Cool.
It's a Playboy grotto.
Like,
Oh, all
well, you
right,
said it was a
DeadSlayer, what are you
particularly
doing?
hot
I'm running a
location.
restaurant. He's running a Playboy mansion. What are you doing?
D&D diner.
Ooh,
By the pool?
that's not an unrealistic like thing either. You could
Oh
totally
yeah, that's
open
not
that.
Yeah, I was
unrealistic
thinking
at
like
all.
a large
There was a cafe in Bahrain that was like
Yeah.
not D&D specifically, but like board and role playing game themed.
As long as you
I
So
like
like
force
they had
people to
something unique.
wear body deodorant.
Oh yeah, like absolutely. But like the thing being like it's a regular restaurant. The thing is, it's also got like rooms, like small, basically conference rooms,
Ah,
lined with D&D gear, and you can like the rooms have their own soundproofing of if it's going to be
hey,
just rooms side by side. So there's only so much soundproofing you can actually like feasibly do, but you can like book a room and then you can have like your D&D session at like the table there and there'll be like cupboards with like D&D manuals and like the little pieces and tokens and whatnot so that if you don't have your own shit you're fine,
that would be
but
cool.
also like when your players are like hanging out at a tavern or whatnot, you have like the entire menu and then you can like take out like a small clip of it and then you can give it to your players and you can all order the actual drinks and have it
That's
brought
a
to your
great
room
idea.
Fantastic idea. We
Now,
need to
and
start a
have like
business.
actual food,
that would
like
be a
actual
great
food and shit
idea.
from the times.
That would have to be
Yeah,
a
and then we could
city.
have like call it Cthulhu,
Oh yeah, that's
Pathfinder.
why
That would
I'm
have to be in a
bringing this up
city.
for the like hot location kind of
Now,
thing.
I would
'Cause we would
love
need a
that
lot
type
of
of
people.
thing. And honestly, I would love to help you on that if we because like one of my dreams is to create like I used to do carpentry and stuff and electronics.
Yeah.
One of my dreams is to make like a D&D table. Like we've made like or a tabletop, like a role playing table, like a tabletop one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like my friend and I, we were planning one out because we were gonna make one. They had to move, so unfortunately we couldn't do it. But like the idea
Mhm.
was that like it has two modes. One, you just have a flat top, and for each player you have they have like areas. It's almost like sunken in, so you have like your own battle station or whatever, including for
Yeah.
the DM as like a bigger one where they can hold their dice and they can hold a drink or
Mhm.
their food or something like that. And then
Yeah.
the top part, and then like what you can do is it's in sections, and then if
Mhm.
you flip over the section instead of being a flat nothingness, it's like a model set, like a what do you call it? A battlefield.
I have an idea
Oh.
Yeah.
that doesn't sound feasible. That doesn't really sound very feasible, but it would be kind of cool. You know those toys where it's like the bunch of like needles and like you put your hand into it and it makes like the print in the needle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What if you have basically a table like that with like plastic needles and then like lights underneath them to determine the color of those needles and then like you can bring in like a 3D layout of land and it recreates it on the table.
Did you get that from X-Men? Because they had that
I
in
did not.
X-Men. Yeah, I know they had that in
They
X-Men.
did?
Yeah, they did.
Dude, that sounds so
It was
I
really
That
want
sounds
cool.
that.
sick.
It was really cool. Like he's like in the first of the trilogy back in the day. Like they're talking about going to New York, and this needle table goes like and it like models out the entire thing, and they go like it's going here. We plan to go this way, and it shows like a little wave of them, and like he plans to do this, and it'll wipe out New York, and it shows like a wave wiping out New York. And it's like God damn, dude, I want one of those
Dude, that would be
tables,
so cool.
right?
But yeah, that would be kind of cool, and also you can like it could be a setup so that you can also like create your own. Like it can take like the negative of the layout to like build your own maps on the fly, where if you don't know like 3D modeling or whatnot, you can press a button and like all the needles come up, and then you can literally manually mold the land and then save it.
You know, that'd be cool.
Sick.
I mean, I know this is all possible. It would just be expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like
like
you'd have to like program. You have to put link a program. I mean, you
There'd be a
could,
lot of programming involved
Yeah.
in this, especially if you want
oh,
to
absolutely.
save stuff that
Yeah.
you mold yourself.
and each one like
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think to be feasible like that, I don't think electronic. It'd have to almost be like pneumatic.
Pneumatic.
Yeah. Or like yeah.
What that mean?
Oh, it means it uses air.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, it can't be like electricity, because like if they shock themselves, then
Oh no, it could totally be electricity.
lawsuits.
It would just be like it would have to be a lot. You'd have to have a bigger rig, because then in order to run something like that smoothly, it'd have to be on like a wheel that pushes the pins up, which would be a lot harder.
True.
I think the pneumatic one, you could have just a pipe, and then but that would still be a lot of pipes, and then they would have to be.
Yeah.
It would be definitely be a hard thing. Basically, you could.
Plus, air is a little loud.
No, no, not if you're using. So what you do is for ones like that, is that it puts air in it, and then it just responds to you when you're pushing in and out. The what would be loud is when the compressor hits, but if you have the compressor fill something up with air, enough air, then the compressor only goes off every once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's also going to be holding like tokens and whatnot, which they're not light. I mean,
know.
they're not heavy, but they're also some weight.
That wouldn't be a problem. Like they're very like
Okay.
yeah, they can you can the resistance for oh you should see like some of these things are crazy, man. Like they can go through a fucking like tank. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty gnarly. Yeah. Pneumatic.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like fun to design something like that. It sounds expensive as fuck, but it also sounds kind of fun.
It is so fun.
And then to
using
have a bunch
drill.
of those in like a room. Honestly, like having one of those tables might cost about as much as getting a building big enough to have this idea feasibly run.
Oh no, definitely no, that would definitely cost that much. Cause like
just for one table would cost the same as the building.
But then you'd have to.
Right, once we become millionaires in Italy, we can start funding this.
Hey, my
exactly.
Hitman
Once we
business.
become Italianaires.
My Italianaires. I'll just take a couple of contracts. We'll be good.
Exactly.
All right, so toy stores.
Ooh.
Toy Story?
You could do that. I wanted to do one. I'm calling it Craft a Chimera, kind of like it's a Build-A-Bear ripoff, sort of.
I remember you.
Yeah, I told you guys about this one.
Yeah.
But for the audience, what you do is you pick either okay, there's 3 columns, right? One of them lists a bunch of reptiles and amphibians. The second one lists a bunch of birds and insects. And the third one lists a bunch of mammals and fish. And you pick one animal from each column. And then the reptiles would determine the hind legs and tail. And like the hind quarters in general. The birds and bugs would determine the wings and front legs, and then the mammals and fish would determine like the head and the body, and then you just like sew it all together, and then you got like a stuffed little plushie monster.
Huh.
But what if you want like multiple mammalian things, like lion, a tiger, and a bear?
I think I think you actually like said this in an early episode, and I asked that exact same thing.
Yeah, and I said fuck you because I didn't want to go into it. I feel like those would probably be like special orders. So like that's the sort of stuff that's just like on display. That's the normal thing. What people normally do when they go through like the Build-A-Bear ripoff that I'm doing. If you want something more specialized, then you can like order ahead for like a small fee.
I remember
I'd make it a small fee because I don't want to like extort people or anything.
At first I was like, I was complaining because I was like, well, what if I want a double head thing, because it's kind of like, but then I realized it's not because you limit people, it's because you want to make it so people, because like I could see, especially with people
I want it
like when Wendy's
it's to make it, the reason I have like some stuff being like the hindquarters or whatever is to make it so you can more easily mix and match.
Yeah.
So if you want to do like something more, if you want to do something outside of the normal mix and match, you just have to call ahead and like give us a week or 2 to make the extra parts.
Because like I could totally see someone
have like
as soon as you allow people, as soon as you allow people to have like too much control, Because you've seen how like people like when Wendy's is like, how about you make a design our new cheeseburger? They just do like oops all cheese, and it's just like 10
Oops,
pieces
all
of cheese.
cheese.
I can see
Oh,
someone asking for like a
non
ball.
pizza with left beef.
Yeah, I can see someone making ball o goat, where it's just a ball and then like a bunch of goat heads on it and stuff like that.
And they could do that, but they have to call ahead.
Yeah.
I think you should have it be like Crafted Chimera Subway, where it's like you
Ooh.
just like have the different legs and whatnot, the different like torsos and shit.
Well, that's smart.
Well, yeah, it kind of is like that. Like
Yeah.
at Build-A-Bear, you like pick the stuff. You pick like the shell of the animal, but in this
I'd
case,
like
you
the
pick like three things, and
hindquarters
then
of a
you like sew them
corgi,
together.
lightly toasted,
I would
side of mayo.
Lightly toasted.
sprinkle cinnamon sugar.
But no, and then we'd also have like little outfits and stuff, and like
Mm.
little accessories to add to the toys, and it'd be adorable.
I was really pissed because
And
like
little weapons too, because they are monsters.
like for some reason like I don't know why. I guess the school had money, but they took us to Build-A-Bear Workshop and said we could build our own
Holy
bear
shit.
and they'd cover it. Yeah, I got the flu. And so I never, they built me a bear, but it was like a very basic bear. I still loved that bear for the longest time. Like that was a great bear. It had
Oh.
it was just a bear with a ribbon around its neck, but I loved it. It was nice. But I did not get the opportunity to make my own bear. So it's
Build-A-Bear is so
My
expensive. That's like a
condolences.
once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know how they
I'm so
did
sorry.
it. I don't know how they did it either. Like it was really weird. Like I don't know how they had because like this is the same school where like we didn't like the teacher was like, you guys don't deserve to go to on a field trip, and so we never went on a single field trip that year.
Fuck.
This is the same school, so like I'm amazed
Oh, that's
that,
why
like,
you got to go, because they're like, oh, we had so much allocated to field trips, but they just weren't going, so now we can go on one big one.
I could see that happening. That's what happened at my community college. Like they allocated like $20,000, which sounds like not a lot of money to allocate to an entire club scene, but no one was using the money, and so like we had all this extra money left over. We get to go on like huge trips because of it once we saved up all the money.
Ooh, Marigold, would your fucking thing
Crafted Chimera.
that you're talking about? Yeah, Crafted Chimera. Would that apply to the outfits too? Like you can have like
Ooh.
half shirt, half dress, or you can have like
That'd be
half short, half
interesting.
pants. So you can have like shants.
You just want
We call it something else. We'll call it ports.
Ports. That's already a word.
When the
Plort?
parents think their kids are smoking because they need new ports.
What did what did we call them last time? Quartz. They should make quartz.
No, that's for that's if you have like pants that aren't a pair. Quarts of pants.
That's a quartz of pants. Yeah, quartz of
A
pants.
quart of pants.
That's not the same as like a pant mixed with a short.
So a quart of quart of shants.
Sure, a
No,
quart of sand.
wrong, man.
No, it's a quart of ports.
You
But
have been denied.
A quart of
A
port
quart
is
of port.
just like a quart of port. The drink.
I'm calling it ports. No one can stop me because I'm not calling it chance.
Well, we're calling it shants, and you can't stop us.
I'm the one who owns the business. You get no say.
I thought we were working this
Yeah,
together.
that worked out
Fine.
well with the guy who made gifts.
No. We're working together on the pool resort. This is toy stores.
I say
You
we
never
ban
said you
her.
go into business with
Let's-
me on the
let's
toy store. You
boycott- let's
you
boycott
haven't
her
given
toy
me any
store.
ideas for the toy store.
Boycott-
Excuse you.
Boycott her toy store. I gave the ball of
Fuck
goat
you.
idea. Ball of goat.
Can my toy store run in conjunction with your D&D cafe or D&D restaurant?
Not with that attitude.
I mean, if they wanted to create like a physical replication of like a homebrewed monster that they were fighting, then
Ooh.
that would be kind of
Yeah.
cool.
that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I mostly would be doing plushies, which I feel bad about, but like
You know
other
what?
than
Yeah,
that,
like
How
that's
would
the
you
only
make
thing is
a-
like it wouldn't be very applicable in the actual game because plushies don't stand too well, and if they do, like
and it would
they're
not
also
be to scale
big.
at all.
Yeah,
How would you
they're
make?
fucking huge.
How would you make a displacer cat?
How would I
A
make
displacer cat?
Yeah.
Oh, like a cat that can teleport?
Well, yeah, but you like, yeah. I heard like, am I thinking? So, Okay, yeah. So the cats, the special cats have like they have like 6 legs and like tentacles on their back. But like I think I'm thinking of the one from Adventure Time where he's like missing parts of his body, but they still exist. They just don't like
Yeah,
you can't see
I
them.
have an approximate knowledge of many things.
I love that. Okay, hello Jake. How did you
Like,
almost know my
hello,
name?
Frank
Oh, no, yeah, Frank
Frank
the
the
human. Frank the
human.
human. Yeah.
How
How
did
did
you
you
almost know
almost
my name?
and your dog Jake? Or, no, Jack. You say Jack or something like that. Jim. That's my
Jack,
favorite.
I
That's
think.
I don't know why I love that line so much. How did you almost know my name?
For me, I love the like duck, boom, boom, ah, 2 boomerangs.
What's the one? I'm your guardian angel. I'll take you to the angel room. Well, I'll eat your flesh. It's like, what? Trust your guardian angel.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us in this semi-toxic discussion. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment your shop ideas down below.
We promise we'll only steal some of them.
And
Yeah, once we become Italianaires with our other ideas.
Italianaires.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.